Welcome to Victoria. One thing we recommend anytime you're visiting a new city is spend your first day, get your bearings, check out the city, see what kind of sightseeing tours are around. Here they have a hop-on, hop-off bus tour, but in other towns, maybe there's a walking tour or an e-bike tour or something like that. So here we've decided to do the hop-on, hop-off tour today. This is the Victoria, the gray line bus. So this shows you all the different stops, the route it takes. So if you were to stay on the bus non-stop, to go to all 15 stops, go through all 15 stops, it'd take 90 minutes. But at each of these 15 locations, there's an explanation down below of kind of what to see in that area. And then once you hop off, just know that you have an hour before the next bus comes by. So every time they get to a stop, you have an hour before the next one. So just keep an eye on your watch. We're gonna go hop on, they'll be here in a couple minutes and we'll check out the town.
90 minutes around town for the complete tour. You welcome to hop off anywhere, any of the stops. If you do get off though, just remember it's about approximately an hour till the next bus will come by to pick you up.
Okay, so the Greater Victoria Flower Count. For 1 week in early spring, the citizens of Greater Victoria count all the blossoms they can see. The results are then reported to Flower Count headquarters. As the numbers come in, announcements are sent to local media to inform everyone of the growing count. In 2023, when we tallied just over 33 billion blooms.
Further up, there's 3 notable pubs, mainly the Bart Banker, Garrick Head, Irish Times, all very popular here. Peak season is up to 800 flights a week in and out of this inner harbor. This is the only airport I know of in Canada that they have to shut down operations due to whales on the runway.
Look closely for a street sign that says Fan Tan Alley. This crowded byway is North America's narrowest commercial street, measuring a little over 1 meter or around 4 feet wide at either end. The alley got its name from a Chinese gambling game called Fan Tan. Fan Tan Alley and others like it once sheltered opium and gambling dens from view. Opium may have been legal at the turn of the century, but gambling was absolutely not. Even so, many alley buildings had gambling dens tucked away on the upper floors. Whenever the police appeared, the gamblers vanished through trapdoors in the floor.
All right, so we just got off of that bus tour that we recommended. That was through Gray Line. It's this big red double-decker bus. Got inside seating downstairs, and then upstairs you can have open air. So we had 15 stops, and it took you all over. So when you first get here, come here to the Empress, which is just an awesome hotel, which we'll be staying at later this week for a couple nights. As you can see behind us, it's unbelievable, really. You come in here, you get your tickets. Just make sure you don't make the mistake we did. We tried to get on it in our hotel, which was the Delta, and luckily the guy was really nice and let us get on. But we also stopped at some other stops where they didn't allow people to get on, not without the ticket. So you have to come to the Empress. That's where you sign up. If you do it online, that's where you get your ticket validated. Even on the email, it may give you confirmation. You still have to get the tickets here at the Empress. So anyway, the stops were awesome. You can get on and off. It goes from, I think, 9:30 to 5:30. So you have plenty of time just to stop, go eat lunch, brunch, mid-lunch, I don't know, all the teas, all kind of different stuff they have. Takes you up to Beacon Hill to the park, takes you over to the coast, takes you through some of the quaint little towns. And so the reason why we recommend you do one of these tours when you first get here is just because now that we've done that, now we really have a really good idea of what this whole city has to offer and like where we want to go next, when we want to take lunch or where we want to go to our next dinner or what have you. So highly recommend doing one of these tours. Even if you don't do this one, the walking tours are only going to get you right around this main downtown area. You really have to do one of these other type of tours, whether it be a bus, maybe a bike or something like that, where you can get quickly around. Otherwise, the walking distance, I mean, this would be 15 miles or so. So I guess you could try to walk it in a week, but that wouldn't be very easy. Anyway, off to get some lunch and do some more sightseeing. right, so down here on Fisherman's Wharf, this is where we're meeting for our whale watching tour today. This is where they have all the colored floating homes and/or shops, things of that nature, but just incredible as you can see. Everyone needs something to believe in. I believe I'll have another beer. Oh, I like this guy already.
Look, no trespassing. We're tired of hiding the bodies.
Nice. Well, if you like ships, Fisherman's Wharf's the place for you. And if you don't like ships, maybe you like fish and chips. If that's true, then what Fisherman's Wharf is good for you as well. Because they got ships and chips. Okay, we're going out whale watching today. Here's the ship we're taking. They say it's a 3-hour tour.
It is a 3-hour tour.
Oh crap, it is a 3-hour tour. For all you folks who know Gilligan's Island. Maybe you'll never see Kim and I again because...
You're the one who started this video off saying this was our last adventure.
Well, it is our last adventure. I lied. This is really the one we're taking. It's about go time.
We're booking. We just got back up from our whale watching tour with Eagle Wing Tours, and it was absolutely fantastic. We got to see harbor seals, we saw stellar sea lions, saw bald eagles, and we got to see killer whales. That was awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit of video, but you have to stay a distance from them by law, and so we couldn't. I had a telephoto lens, so I was able to get hopefully some decent photos, but as far as video goes, there's not going to be much video, unfortunately, because we got it from a distance. So.
And it was so rough.
Oh gosh.
So we don't even know what kind of photos he was able to get with his camera because there was no still shot. There's no use of a tripod or anything like that.
But we got to go around some of the San Juan Islands, which was absolutely beautiful. I mean, when you get out to that area of the Canada, United States, it's unbelievable. So we highly recommend if you have a chance. Has to be something that you add to your to-do list when you come visit Victoria.
Right, and the water got super calm. It was really weird because it was still like part of the ocean, but we're in the straits. So it did get calm, but it was very choppy. So recommend take your Dramamine. They call it grovel, but yeah, take it.
And pack in layers, as you can see, it got really cold too. So unless you're here in the summertime, make sure you bring your layers. So when you get into town, one of the first things we suggest you do, if you didn't do a lot of research ahead of time, which you probably did, and you probably already have a pretty good itinerary, if you're looking for things to do, they've got a really beautiful visitor center like right here in the middle of downtown. As you can see, it's right here. Those folks in there are super helpful. They got brochures on everything. If you're trying to go on a whale watching tour or you want to kind of see what you should do here while you're visiting, definitely stop by here. We did it literally on our last day, but we already had an idea of what we wanted to do, so it was perfectly fine. But if you are looking for some ideas, stop by the visitor center. They'll be happy to help you.
This morning we toured the Parliament buildings. This is where their government officials meet. They have sessions to vote on the laws for British Columbia. It's actually right downtown. If you're staying at the Empress, you can probably view it from your hotel room. right here in the main part, and there is a siren going off in the background. Construction began in 1893, so another one of those really old, really cool buildings here in British Columbia. The tour, you can do a self-guided tour. They actually give you a little booklet, tells you about each of the rooms that you go into. You can view the legislative chamber where they hold the sessions. If there is a session going on, they actually have a public viewing area up top where you could watch that. So you could do a self-guided tour. They also have guided tours. They are free to the public, last about 45 minutes. If you have time to do that, I recommend that because they provide you with all kinds of information. So it's one of the top things, again, here to do in Victoria. So as you walk down along the wharf here in Victoria, you will no doubtly see this bright pink building that stands out. It's the only building on this side of the wharf, and it was built in 1874. It actually was built as the customs house. So they built it here 3 stories tall. So not only could the ships as they came in through the wharf be able to see it and see where to go to get through customs, but it also allowed the people here in Victoria to see out into the harbor. Today, it is occupied by law offices. So nothing exciting today, but pretty cool to be the only building here right on the wharf. So one of the top things we recommend in the city of Victoria to visit is Beacon Hill. So if you like nature and want to get away from all the excitement of all the city life that's going on, just half a mile behind the Empress is this absolutely gorgeous 83-acre park. It's up on the hill. On one half of it, you can see out over the bay, see clear over into Washington. It's full of wildlife. I'm sure you can hear all the birds in the background. Flowers, fountains, there's sport courts, there's trails that go all over the place. There's a watering can fountain, so that's something to check out in the summertime for the kids. That they have a water feature so they can go cool off. It has the world's largest totem pole in it. There's a petting zoo, and this is one of the stops on the hop on hop off bus tour. So definitely something for you guys to check out. So as we're walking through the trails, we came across the moss lady. She's laying here, covered in moss, like a giant green rug or blanket over her. She has plants on the back of her head, make it look like she has a spiky haircut. And then you can hear maybe you can hear it, there's water trickling in the background from a creek. And so it seems like she fell asleep listening to the water.
All right, so another top thing you can do, especially if it's raining or cold, we planned it out this way because we wanted to have really bad weather one day, so we'd have something else to show you guys. They got this really cool place called Miniature World, which is actually located in the Empress Hotel. And it's just a collection of a bunch of small miniatures. And so we're looking at different things you could do. So you've got this Miniature World. They got some museums, they got art galleries, things of that nature. So there are things to do when it does rain. This should be a pretty cool place to check out. So we'll show you Miniature World.
This is depicting World War II from June of 1944 in Normandy.
All right, so Miniature World, more than worth the $20 of admission. We spent a little bit over an hour in there, but you could easily spend 2 or 3 if you wanted to really read through all of the sets that they have there. I think there was 85 in total, and it just got better and better and better. From start to the end, it was just magnificent how much work, intricate details there were on all those miniatures. And we'll try to show you as much as we can without like giving it all away and or boring you for minutes on end of miniatures. I mean, it's really cool when you're here, but it might not look as good on video. So if it's a rainy day like it is today and you're looking for something to do in Victoria, like I said, you have the museums, you might have some galleries, but this is really one that you want to add to your list. Right here at the Empress Hotel, so you're really central to everything here. So yeah, check it out. All right, so one thing you definitely have to do when you come to Victoria is check out the restaurants. If you look at Condé Nast, they actually ranked this the number 8 best place to eat in the world. You think about that, that's pretty insane to be number 8 in the world as a country as far as food goes. We just got done eating breakfast at Fuego's right here. Our actual hotel is literally right behind us. It's about a 5-minute walk to this restaurant, and I have to admit it was literally the best breakfast I think I've ever had. So it definitely has more of a Latin flair. It comes with their own homemade cornbread, guacamole, salsa, and yeah, so much flavor in it. It's definitely not something that you'd get for just a standard breakfast. So if you're in town and you're close to the Delta, which is the hotel we're staying at here for a couple days, definitely check out Fuego's. You won't be disappointed. What are we doing?
We're at Best Buy buying memory cards, which is what we do on every vacation.
Why are we buying memory cards?
Because Jason doesn't remember to bring memory cards with him.
Remember, I don't have any memory cards.
How do you not have any?
Because this is
for
for
every vacation we go on. We're always trying to find a Best Buy, a camera store, no matter what city, state, country we're in.
Hey, but how was the drive in though?
Not the best.
Yeah,
we found their homeless area.
Yeah, Victoria looks great when you're downtown, not so much when you get out of town.
If you look at any of the top 10 lists in Victoria, always at the top you'll see the Butchart Gardens. So that's where we are today. We have a gorgeous day. Got blue sky out, about 55 degrees, no rain in the forecast. So come along, check out the gardens. It's about 45 minutes from downtown Victoria, so if you don't have a car, there are bus options that will get you here. But let's go check out the gardens.
They got a map to help you navigate, and then the brochure that Kim got kind of tells you a route to take so that you don't miss anything. So we're going back because we are so excited. We just started walking everywhere. So now we're going to try to follow the path. One thing we're noticing around these gardens, there's a lot of places where you can sit and just relax and take in the sights and sounds. So even if it's crowded, it feels like you can still get away into these little tucked away areas, which is really awesome. A lot of times, anytime you go anywhere touristy, it's really hard to get away from people sometimes. But here they just got these little alcoves with beautiful gardens where you can just sit all by yourself. Here's Kim, and here's our tranquil little garden. Oasis. It's tea time.
It's tea time, and you get to choose your own tea. We are tea newbies. We have no idea what we're doing. But we're gonna fake it.
So you make it.
As I pour it all over the table. It tastes like tea.
Which means it
Totally
has no
fine.
taste, though.
It's I got the 100th anniversary tea.
Go for it.
Dig all the way to the bottom, get of each layer.
Sponge cake.
So the English trifle, it's got sponge cake in it, chantilly cream, and whipped cream, and wild berries, and it is fantastic.
And for the sweets, we have the carrot cake, the lemon mousse slice, the vanilla bean gateau with a caramel buttercream, the chocolate ganache torte, and in the little box is a chocolate liqueur almond truffle.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so as you can see, we enjoyed this meal immensely. Highly recommend you guys come and do this if you're here. A little spendy, but worth it.
That concludes our trip here to Butchart Gardens. What'd you think of it? It was your first experience.
It was awesome. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. My favorite was the Japanese garden, but there wasn't a single place that wasn't awesome. The fact that you go through just different areas, there's different areas. You go into forested spots, you go to spots that are wide open. You have a lot of spots to get away from everything.
Right. And the whole fact that this started as a limestone quarry. I mean, it's just incredible to see the photos that they have on the placards around throughout the gardens
Mm-hmm.
to see what the grounds used to look like to what they look like today. But to date myself, I realized I've been here once, and that was 32 years ago. I don't know why it took 32 years to come back. This place is absolutely immaculate. It's
Yeah. You got to add it to the list of things to do when you visit Victoria for sure. There's a reason why it's one of the number one things to do. It's pretty busy today, but not too bad. Now, the lunch was great, as you guys saw. We're not like tea drinkers or anything like that, but that was really fun to do that. But anyway, definitely add this to your to-do list. So, at this little inlet, you can come out, and they got these chairs just sitting here for public use. And you can just plop down on one and just take in the scene.
enjoy the view.
Boats passing by, planes passing by, birds passing by. Beautiful spot.
Funny.
Get in there and go check out one of those things. Oh yeah, yeah, you can do it.
Kind of crooked.
Huh?
Said I'm kind of crooked. Another one of the top places to visit when you're in Victoria is the Craigdarroch Castle. Only a few minutes outside of the downtown of Victoria. This was built by Robert Dunsmuir in the 1890s. Woo! Bee just hit me in the face. Anyway, continuing on. So it was built in the 1890s by Robert Dunsmuir. He made his money from coal. Unfortunately, he died a year before the castle was completed, so he never actually got to live here. But his wife and his daughters and his sons lived here. And it is 25,000 square feet. And it's absolutely insane. It's 4 stories. So one thing to note, if you want to tour it, it is all stairs. So if you're able to climb stairs, there's no elevator access, anything like that. But easy enough with stairs and railings. But it's absolutely amazing inside to see the history. They only lived in it until I think it was like 1909. And I don't want to give away all the secrets, so you'll have to come check it out yourself. It was repurposed over the years. It's been a few different things, but it's now a castle again and museum operated by a nonprofit trying to restore it back to the way it originally was. So when this was completed in 1890, this tower was the highest place a person could stand in the city of Victoria.
All right, so we just left the castle and we're coming down. I don't know what the actual town is that we're in. Do you know?
Oak Bay.
Oak Bay? And it's very, very, very hard to park if you got your own car. We couldn't find any public parking. Parking on the road's an hour. So if you want to like go shopping or go eat, good luck. And then there's a lot of residents around, but everything says no parking, residents only. So very difficult place to find parking. And that's just unfortunate. Any big city you go to, it seems like you can't ever find places to park. They want you to take some kind of other transit, but you really don't have other options.
And that's where one thing, this is one of the stops for the hop-on, hop-off bus.
Oh,
so
true.
if you're taking that from downtown Victoria, or from the downtown port area, whatever, this is one of the stops. So that's what we'd recommend instead of bringing your car down here, is to use that bus, and then you can be here for an hour or two before you have to hop on a bus and go to the next stop.
All right, so now we're off to the Beagle Pub because we like beagles and we like pubs. All right, so that was the Beagle Pub. Just as awesome as we hoped it would be.
Yeah.
Not only because we love beagles, but the food was absolutely amazing. Every single restaurant we've been to so far in this town has been awesome. And I don't just say that because it's known as like a foodie place. I mean, it is. Everything we've done so far has been great. Kim's disappointed though.
I'm very disappointed. They did not have a medium-sized sweatshirt. All they had were larges and extra larges. and the large was like monstrous on me. Yeah, totally would have dropped my $50 to buy a sweatshirt that said Beagle Pub. Darn it.
If you get a chance, a really cool little spot, little quaint little shops, and then that Beagle Pub is kind of renowned here. So really cool. Service was great. Food was awesome. Beer was really good as always. Yeah, parking. We talked to the waitress in there. She said, yeah, you can. They have a parking spot actually at the pub. We just didn't see that. And then she said, if you park in the residential sections, you're okay. But yeah, if you park in this spot where it says you get an hour, you just got to hope that the meter guy doesn't come by or meter lady and give you a ticket, which I don't have a ticket, thank goodness. Anyway, yeah, so check out the Beagle Pub if you're in Victoria. You won't regret it. So they got these cotton candy machines scattered throughout the place where you can just get cotton candy. And Kim loves cotton candy.
Whoa, where's it coming from?
I couldn't tell you, man. I don't know anything about cotton candy.
That's so cool.
It's gonna be the best cotton candy you've ever had in your life.
It's gonna be the freshest. How big is this stinking thing?
I don't know. It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Oh my gosh, that is so much cotton candy. Check that out.
That's the biggest thing of cotton candy I've ever seen in my life. Enjoy.
It's like an ice cream cone.
You look like Pac-Man. Like, don't stick your own. You like my cotton candy mustache? So a little tip, when you're walking down here in downtown, you can see the Empress right behind us, and this is where the Parliament building is. This is where all the downtown is. You'll see bikes behind me, and they just zip by here. And we just saw a tourist accidentally step out in front of one, wiped both of them out. And of course the bike was in the right of way, but they bombed down this thing fast. And so just make sure as you're walking down, keep an eye out for these bikes and don't just step into lanes, no different than a car coming by. So just be careful. And once you get your bearings, it's fine. I think these folks were brand new to the city, just didn't know any different. And luckily nobody got hurt from what we could tell. All right, so trying poutine for the first time. It's basically French fries covered in cheese curds and gravy. I don't even know where to start. It's like a well, hold on, let me get a. How do you get a cheese curd?
I think the cheese is just melted.
Ah. Okay, that's pretty good. I thought it was going to be the worst thing I've ever had in my life. But it's actually pretty tasty. Dang it. So, if you're here, try poutine.
Look how cute it is. If you're a girl, you can order a 9-ounce beer.
All right, so the last thing on our trip that you need to do if you visit Victoria is take either a water taxi, which is right behind us there. You see those little yellow guys, which is awesome. It's $15 to get you to a spot and then $15 back, so $30. Or we're gonna take the harbor tour.
Right. Which is, what was it?
42?
$42 for 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Takes you around the little inner harbor here.
They have two tours. They have an inner harbor tour, which will take you around all of this and kind of give you some history. So if you come, like if you want to do a first thing, like we did the hop on hop off bus, which is awesome to do. I recommend you do that as well because that takes you places this boat ain't going to take you. But jump on this boat, it's going to give you some details about the inner harbor, where the wharf is. Right. Where was the fisherman's wharf, right? Where the colored buildings are. Right.
And the boat's going to take you places the bus wouldn't take you.
Yeah, and they also have another tour, which is an hour and 15 or so, which they call the Gorge Tour, and that takes you to a whole nother section, which is more about like the old neighborhoods, the shipyard, and things like that. But we wanted to stay in here because we thought it would be a beautiful day, and you can see the Empress behind us. So yeah, you can see the Parliament building back here. And so they'll give you a little bit of history about what that all entails. And so I'm looking forward to kind of learning a little bit more about things that maybe we don't know everything about. So.
Okay, so here we are at the Empress Dock. So this is right in front of the Empress Hotel. And this is the Inner Harbor tour that we're going to take. That goes along here and then come out. So if you took the ferry over from Port Angeles, this is where your ferry boat would have come in from. So we're going to hang out in the little harbor here and see what that is. The other option, the longer tour, goes here up to what they call their gorge, and it goes past the rail yards and some shipyards.
A couple like bridges too, like a trestle bridge.
A couple bridges. Yeah, here's the Selkirk Trestle.
Yeah.
We were told there are no ships in dry dock right now being worked on. If there were, that would have been, possibly something cool to see if you did that gorge tour. But that's where we're just going to do the 45-minute tour here.
You can see here, like here's Fisherman's Wharf. This is where all the colorful homes are. It's going to take you by like kind of seeing where all the hotels and stuff are, and then they'll just give you a little bit of information about all the stuff that's here, all the stuff we've already seen. So we're probably not going to learn much more than what we've already learned, but we have not been to West Bay as far as I know. Yeah.
Right.
They say you.
Delta Hotel. This is as far as we went.
We
really.
Stayed there.
We stayed here.
Staying at the Empress.
Here to Fisherman's Wharf.
Yeah.
So this is all kind of new stuff to us.
They said they will drop you off there if you like. We're not going to get dropped off there because it's too late at night, but they could drop you off there. We're just going to come make a whole round trip. But anyway, just so you guys can see the difference, do some reviews on TripAdvisor. You'll see that people highly recommend it. So you see this big old ship right here? It was literally a ship that they have, like an old ship, they said.
From the 40s.
Yeah, from like the 1940s that they repurposed into literally a sauna/spa where you can come and like go in hot tubs. You got to look this up though if you're here and you're looking for something interesting to do. I think it's pretty expensive. I looked at it briefly, and then once I saw the price, I said not happening. But hey, havensaunas.com. If you want us to come do a review of your spa, you just reach out. We'd be happy to do it. In fact, it would be our pleasure. All right, so just like it started, it's now ended. We came, we saw, we ate, we walked. Good one. We walked a lot.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, absolutely loved Victoria. What a beautiful city. Just make sure if you're visiting, just stay downtown, like stay in the touristy spots. Drugs and homeless, just like any other big city. Got a lot of drugs and homeless. As long as you stay in the touristy parts of town, get on the hop on, hop off bus, use the taxi, do any of this kind of stuff that's right around here on the wharf, you'll be totally fine. But yeah, unless you're with a group, don't move, don't get out and about. It just doesn't even make sense to do it.
Right. And you see behind us, that's where we started. There's the Delta back there. So it's right here across from the harbor. So a great place to stay for your time here. Our
hotel stays, yeah, we stayed we'll make a video specifically just about the hotels. We stayed at 3 different hotels this week, and we did that on purpose because not only did we want to make a video that would be informative for folks that are coming to visit for the first time, but also for us because we've never been here. And we wanted to make sure that we didn't come here and stay in a hotel that we wouldn't have liked. So the way we did it was awesome. We stayed here at the Delta for a couple nights. Then we went to the beach and stayed at, Oak Bay?
Oak Bay Beach Hotel.
Yeah, which has the mineral pool. So look that up if you want to get away from the city. And then we came back and stayed a couple nights at the Empress, which very historic hotel. So check that video out. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed like our top list. I mean, honestly, I feel like we did everything we possibly could in a week.
Right. We were here 5 full days. We had 6 nights in the hotel, in hotels, but 5 full days. And unless you have a car and want to get farther out, there are things to see farther away from the city. Yeah. But if you don't have a car or you just don't want to venture that far, 5 days, you're going to have sufficient time to get around. We
last night was like our 4th night or something. We were kind of crossing back the paths of stuff we'd already done multiple times. So you could easily do a weekend here, 3 days probably would be really good, especially if you want to go see the gardens. We went and saw the Butchart Gardens, which was a 45-minute drive. They do have buses that will take you there, so just know that you do not have to drive here. One of the things that we kind of wish we would have done was just jumped on the ferry and just not taken our car because we really didn't need it.
Right, and they do charge you in each hotel. They charge you overnight to park, so you do have added fees there. But yeah, there's buses to Butchart. We're not here in the deep summer. Summertime, I think there are more frequent shuttles, but the Malahat, something that we weren't able to go to, they do have free shuttles to that on the weekends that are available. But we got here on a Sunday night and leaving on a Saturday afternoon. So
yeah. Beautiful walking city. Definitely we put on 15,000 to 20,000 steps every single day. Our feet are killing us, but it was just awesome. Just so many old buildings, the restaurants, food-wise. I mean, they call this the 8th best food town in the world. I'd put it up even higher. I mean, I haven't been to every country in the world, but oh my gosh, there wasn't a meal that we had that was bad. Right. In fact, we went back to one pub twice because it was so good. So yeah, if you're looking for bars, restaurants, taverns, just old architecture, stuff like that, you cannot beat Victoria. This was an absolutely beautiful town.
Right. If you'd love to take photographs, whether you're a true photographer or just with your phone, there's so many things to photograph around here.
One other thing too is they have a lot of tours that you can take. So we did the hop on, hop off. We did the ferry tour here, not the ferry, but the harbor tour. They got these planes that you can take. That'll take you on a 20-minute tour and just kind of see the city and land here in the water. So that's really cool. So what we'd recommend when you first show up, if you can, to get your bearings, is try to get on one of those tours. We recommend the hop on, hop off. That was the best thing, the best decision we probably made. Then they also have a really nice visitor center here that you can go in and talk to those folks. Super nice, willing to help you out. But everything's so central that even if you just winged it and just went and started walking, you'd find stuff. But if you're like us and you want to get the most bang for your buck and for your time, definitely do a little bit of research ahead of time. Watch videos like this and ask us any questions that you might have. Now, we feel like we're pretty expert now on this little town. So if you have any questions, just let us know, and we'll see you next time.
See ya. Goodbye from Victoria. One last shot with the Empress behind us.
So we are on the ferry, getting ready to head back. The funny part about this, when we were on that tour yesterday, the guy said that the captain of this ferry has done over 100,000 stops, and it's insane when you think about it. He has to back out of this harbor, and I'll show you how narrow this is. This is insane that this guy can even do this, but he does it every single day, multiple times a day, and so far, no issues. Hopefully today's not the day.
I was just saying, we do have a tip for you. So like, we're taking the 3 o'clock. You have to be here no later than an hour and a half before, but you can actually get here several hours before. So we got here right at 10:30. That's the earliest we could have got here. We are literally the first people that are going to be off the boat. We pulled in and we pulled all the way to where the doors are. So we're going to be either first row or second row off. So if you're able to, get here early. You can park, walk away from your car for a few hours, come back. That's a better option for you.
Anyway, so here's a little harbor. So he's going to back this up. And as you can see, this narrow little path, he's got to go through that channel right there, which is insane. But hey, he knows what he's doing.
There's a whale out there, and you can see him pretty good through binoculars. He was playing in our wake as we went by. Now he's a ways out, but if you have binoculars, you can see him. He's jumping up out of the water.
You did get a photo of his whale tail.
I did. I got just his tail just before he went under.
Just to give you guys an idea how tight it is when you got to try to get to your car, especially when you're in the front, you got to squeeze through everybody's cars. But look how tight they pack it in here. It's insane. I don't know how these guys with trailers and stuff do it, but there's room. There's not a lot of it. Yeah. All right, we made it. You can tell he's parking though, because it's getting loud out there.
Pub.